Hey everyone, Sawmill Charlie. How you doing, Ed, Phil, Grammy, Lisa, and Queen V's, honey? Well, we finally got all my hay done today. Well, actually, it's my son's hay, so finally got that job done. Been killing me for 2 weeks, and my back's been killing me for 2 weeks. So hopefully things are good in your area. It hasn't rained here yet. Hey, Michael, and hey, Mark. You out in the bee yard, Mark? And so I don't see any rain in sight. It's supposed to rain here maybe tomorrow evening. We've had 2 weeks worth of good weather to get our hay in. So luckily we got all that done. Hey, Todd. Hey, Grayson. So anybody, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link here. Anybody wants to come in, come on in. So other than that, that's about it. I haven't really checked my bees lately. I been so busy out in the hay fields and everything like that. I did do some grafting I guess it was this past Monday. I had the day off, and it it was a last minute thing. I don't think it's going to do all that great. Evening, Dan. It's dry up in Pennsylvania too. Hey, Randy. Hey, um, Alex. Glad to see you, Alex. We talked, I think it was last night. Not sure. So that's what's happening. Anything happening in your areas, everybody? Let me know. And there's James. I got the email, James. Hadn't had time to look at it, but I downloaded it. Thanks for doing that for me. Dutch cover is still performing. That's good. Hey, Cajun. I haven't been able to watch your stuff yet. I've been busy. Mary, Tim, Hannah. All right. Let's see. I'm missing everybody. Queen V. Okay. I got to write that down. But anyway, that's what's happening here. All day I'm going. Mark's. Been in the bees all day today. Now he's grilling hot dogs and hamburgers. I could take one of those. I'll take a cheeseburger. Hey, Tar Heel. Oh my. Randy. Ben Schmidt. Hey, Ben. Somebody's texting me here. Privet. Okay. I'm live, Bob. I had asked Bob what the honey that looks really yellow. I'm live. Oh, there we go. There's Brad. There's Bob.
Hey, hey guys.
Yeah, Bob Walker. Yeah, I asked that question about what was really yellow looking, and there was some folks up in Pennsylvania, and they were like, we seen this here super yellow looking like urine almost coming out. I knew we had talked about it.
Like that?
Yeah. So what's Brad doing? You ain't gonna shoot down another swarm, are you?
No, I'm fixing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
You're
no,
you're a little jumpy, but
I was fixing to release a queen that I had in a laying. Well, it was a queen that was drone laying. She was so I pinched her off, and then I put another queen out of my little hives.
okay, that's cool. You're releasing a queen that you had into a what type of was it queenless or a laying worker type hive?
Drone layer.
Well,
A drone
she was
layer?
a drone. She was a drone layer. She was laying good. It was one that I raised at the beginning of the spring, but she started out good, and then she just started putting out drones.
So she wasn't made it very well.
No,
Hey Ziggy.
Oh man. Long day today.
There's Jeremy.
Hey Jeremy.
How y'all doing?
Man, look at that hairdo, man. You just get your ears lowered, give them a tight.
I did.
I think it's the first time you've been on my show, Jeremy.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, it sound good.
Okay.
Where
I'm
are you
using a
located
laptop
at?
instead of my phone this time.
Where are you located at?
San Angelo, Texas, West Texas.
Texas.
Tejas.
It's nice here. I've actually been putting some honey in some stores, and we don't have to have the FDA approved facility honey house to put in little markets and stuff, little stores or anything here in Texas.
Up to a certain dollar amount or what?
I sell my up to I think it's 2,500 pounds.
That's not bad. We've got a rule like that. I can sell up to 400 gallons or 4,800 pounds. But
Okay.
if I sell it to somebody that resells it, then I have to have the inspection. But if I sell
we don't have to here, luckily.
Directly to a customer, I'm good.
Right. Well, that's how it was before. You could do direct, or if you wanted it in a storefront, it'd have to be. But now they made that law a couple of years ago, and it's pretty nice out here.
You ready, Brad?
Brad going in and out over there.
Yeah.
yeah. I was trying to figure out how to turn the camera around on his phone, but I can't figure it out.
You got to go, if you're on StreamYard, you got to go to your settings and you got to pick forward facing camera from your camera setting.
So how many hives you got, Jeremy?
Queen right, I think I only have about 45 maybe. Then I have 15 splits that I put queen cells in this past Sunday or Monday. So I got 15 waiting, and then I need to graft again. I wanted to get up to 100 this year, but I've been too busy. I do a lot of bee removals, but I've passed about 25 bee removals on just because I've been so busy. 5th kid on the way, president of the bee club, full-time job.
You sound like me.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm happy where I'm at now. So we're still having a nectar flow for a while. Then I'll have about a month break and go directly into another nectar flow. So
ours is just it's slow, but because of the weather, it's slow and steady, right? It's not that bam that a lot of people get and then a break. So I don't know if I'll like it better or what's going to happen, but the girls are working. So
yeah,
good. And I added colony 60 yesterday with a swarm catch and 61 today with a swarm catch.
That's awesome.
There we go. There you go, Brad.
Okay,
only a little bit, Ed.
All right, we got you zoomed in.
Well, she's only been in there for 2 days, and it's one that I pull out of my little nukes. But she was a laying queen, so, and it looks like they feeding her through through the cage. Nobody's trying to sting or nothing like that.
Let her
And I
go.
Yeah, direct releaser.
I didn't put no candy.
Now that's that the different one that you showed on the video about a week ago?
Yeah, this is a different one.
Okay.
Let her out, man. What you waiting on?
Hey, are they feeding her? It looks like they are.
Yeah, they feed
They're
her.
not trying to sting her.
I got the plug pulled out.
You're freezing.
Might have to
There we
pop
go.
this little.
Now all the workers go in there and run her out. See, they're
Hey Lloyd, good to see you out on here tonight.
there's Lloyd.
Let me see if I can pop this cover off.
I can't wait to have bees where I could work them without a suit.
It's like we're getting every other camera frame there.
Going back.
Did she come out?
There she is.
There she is.
Oh yeah, okay. Saw her for a second, and then
Well, she must have went down in quick.
Now she's off to the right there. I thought it's blurry.
Yeah, but she went in. She didn't want to be seen too much.
and then they'll all follow her down.
Yeah, I see those going down in there. These still think she's in there.
Yeah, that's got the pheromones on there. Hey, Philip.
Yeah, these are some pretty gentle bees. But there's a flow on right now, so I don't have to wear my suit. But if there wasn't no flow.
See, mine get even more defensive when they have honey stored because they're protecting it.
Oh, do you got any of those, what do you call it, Africanized type bees or whatever in your area?
We have a bunch. I wouldn't say they're fully Africanized, but the genetics, they've got a percentage in them. I mean, their bloodline has something in it because most of mine are from removals, and a lot of times they're pretty bad. I'm actually getting a colony tonight from a buddy. He had an incident yesterday where it stung somebody in his neighborhood. So the fire department had to come kill it, and I'm going to take his second one today and put it in one of my apiaries away from people.
The fire department killed the colony?
Yeah.
I've seen a news article, and I'm going to say it was in California area, where first they were looking at flowers, and then there was a swarm. It kind of landed on their car. Of course, the kids were being attacked, or they were swatting at the bees, I guess.
Right.
And then there was another one here where you had a rent-a-cop.
I seen that.
And he was rolling and trying to get away and all this kind of stuff. And it was bees, and there was some beekeeper that got there. And I don't know whether that was a Africanized group of bees or what.
I mean, if you, I don't have many videos, but if you watch my videos, you can see how aggressive they get. But out here, most of my calls are from people mowing. And of course, it gets them upset, and they'll follow you, half a mile if you don't move fast enough. But I also get calls from the fire department every now and then. I had one last week of, people getting attacked or swarmed, whatever. They don't know the correct terms, but you mess with the bees, and you stay in the area, you're going to get messed with, So.
Brad must have got that Apamate sponsorship.
No,
More than
I
Apamate
wish.
colonies.
No, I wish. I got those at the Hive Life last year for a good price. They're a little 7-frame. These are my old mating newts right here, but they're starting to rot.
Yeah. 33-mile bees. Phil said it was Southern California.
Yeah, I thought it was like Riverside or something like that.
Well, yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't cue me into where all that's at because I don't know much about the area and stuff.
Right.
What are we going to do, Brad?
Well, I was coming to show you some. I got my apiary built back up. I'm up to 50 hives right now.
Cool.
You got one of them plastic supers?
Yeah, that's a mother load.
Oh, okay.
I think that's how you
What,
say
a
it.
mother load makes plastic hives?
I don't see them on their website, but I've seen a few people talk about them.
Yeah, all my empty spots are filled back up.
Nice. How many are you up to now?
50.
Nice.
I ain't making no honey, but I got the bees built back up.
Sound like me. Hell, I got a ton of bees. We just ain't got a ton of honey.
Yeah, there's like in the supers. There's bees. I hope they don't sting me. Well, where's your hive too when you need it? Anyhow, they got bees all the way up to the top super, but no honey. The honey that they're bringing in, they're using to for the brood and stuff.
I miss being able to have that many in one apiary.
Well, our tallow trees didn't make this year. Yeah, I got this.
Are they coming back, Brad, as far as the tallow, or is it done for the year?
No, it's not done. I could show it to you. But it's very small blooms.
Yeah, show us what a tallow tree looks like.
I'll show you one real quick. And it's they're usually like 3 times the length, but now they're usually as long as your finger or longer when they bloom, but they're really short.
They're just as long as Chinese fingers. They're Chinese tallow.
Like you see those right there. They're like maybe 2 inches long.
Right.
The blooms. And usually this is an old bloom that came out at the beginning of the season, and it was only one. And at the beginning of the season, we're supposed to have this many that long, and it didn't happen because they froze. I mean, there's some on here, and look, you can see a bee working.
I can't see.
Working right now.
I don't see no bees.
Oh, you flew away. It was one. But yeah, that's a tallow tree right there. And it's loaded down with the small ones, but
maybe it'll just bloom a little bit later. What's going to happen is you're going to give up on it, and you're going to
trying to get stuff out of it. Can you see that bee there?
Yeah.
Looks like a bumblebee.
All the blooms fall off. No,
now does it get white looking?
No, it just gets a little bit yellow, and then it turns brown and falls off. But it's one of the sweetest smells in the yard. It almost smells like a honeysuckle.
Philip Moore says, weren't you down to 11?
Oh, no, I was down to 20. I had 30 in winter, and I lost 10 or 11 hives. And I just split them all in the beginning of the spring when we had that honey flow starting up in the spring, because I had a lot of bees, but now it's kind of like just at a standstill. All right, well, I'm going to head inside and go take a shower.
Okay, Brad. Thanks for sharing. Appreciate it. And very interesting.
Got a lot of property right there.
So, Jeremy, you're in whereabouts in Texas you say you were?
West Texas, San Angelo.
San Angelo's. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So another thing I know about is Texas Panhandle.
Okay, so I'm originally from the Panhandle.
So I mean, there ain't no trees or stuff up there. It's like flat and it's desert, like to me.
So where I'm at is more desert. Now, luckily, this little city has a river going through it. and we have 3 lakes. So we have a little bit of greenery, but it's mainly mesquite brush, cotton fields, and cactus. I mean, it really ain't.
So where do you get any honey?
Oh yeah. So actually right now this year we're having wildflowers like crazy. So I tried to harvest a little bit of honey last week, and I was hoping it was mesquite honey, but this mesquite bloom is just like what Bob was saying. It ain't all at once. It's just slow. They're kind of offsetting each other, so it's more of a steady trickle kind of. But what I harvested was wildflower, and it kind of sucks because I really want mesquite isolated by itself, but they're kind of blooming at the same time right now. But I probably have about
mesquite,
800.
Yeah, mesquite is what, tumbleweed, right?
No, so it's actually there's two different, or there's actually like 3 different ones, but it's like the mesquite firewood. That's your mesquite. You've got mesquite trees and mesquite brush, so they're called honey mesquite, and they produce a great nectar, especially in the dry time. So the drier it is, the more they bloom, and because they're all about survival as well. So mesquite honey is great. It's dark. It crystallizes really fast, but I mean it's a great honey. So I probably have about 800 pounds to harvest here in the next couple of weeks. I harvested like 70 pounds last weekend just for the heck of it. Most of it's just not fully ready. And that's only like on 13 or 14 production colonies. But in the fall, I get a lot of cotton honey, which I'll get a ton of cotton honey. So
now I asked people around here. I specifically went on Facebook asking if any of my friends grew cotton, and they said, one guy responded back. He said, I had bees within I think he said less than a mile away from 300 acres of cotton fields. And he said they didn't produce any honey off of it here. So I don't know if it's the seed or
there's different kinds of cotton. They actually made a cotton that I forget what it's called, but genetically it's supposed to not produce nectar, and it's supposed to fight off the pests the way they made it scientifically, where they don't have to spray it as much and everything like that. So it depends. If you look at the bulbs and they have the 3, I don't know the technical terms, but the 3 little leaflings at the bottom of the bulbs, that's the good cotton.
The little hard shell.
Right. So you actually have 3 places where you get nectar from on the cotton. So they flower first, and then I have some kind of PDF on it, but like the bottom of the bloom and the actual bloom itself, and there's 3 different areas where you'll get cotton. And that cotton last year, almost clear. It's so rich, but not like crazy sweet, and everybody loves it. I mean, and I actually put it in irrigated cotton fields. So as far as your eye could see, all you see is cotton. I mean, there's no trees, there's no other brush or anything, and it's strictly cotton honey. I have a few videos. If you look on my page, you'll see, and it looks gorgeous. I mean, irrigated cotton, those blooms will get 3-4 feet high. Everything else, usually it's too dry, and the insurance comes and makes them plow it all up. But I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cut off for a little bit. Tomorrow's our daughter's birthday, and wife's making a cake, so I got to get my 1-year-old son handled for a little bit. So I just want to jump on and say hi real quick. I love interacting with y'all. I love seeing y'all's videos and stuff. So trying to be more active and say hi to everybody in the comments. But
yeah, well,
I'll probably jump on and watch, but I won't be able to be on here with my 1-year-old running around. So
well, it's nice to have you. I mean, like I say, it's your first time and all, and it's interesting to find out the different plants and types of honey in the different areas of the country.
Yes, sir.
And all. So,
all right.
Thank you very much.
A good one.
All right.
All
right. See you now.
Charlie.
Hey, Daisy, Steve. That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
So now we know.
Now we
know. Genetically modified cotton, and I've heard that in other like flower plants, like if they're modifying a flower that's just to look nice and they want a certain color, they found, I think I read it in some articles, where the bees will go back to the original stuff that before, and the genetically modified flowers, they just stop, going to that because it's not attracted to them at all.
Well, it would be nice if those flowers or plants did still put off some nectar, but then again, do you really know if you might be getting some kind of chemical from that casing on the seed or something like that. I don't know that much about it, to be honest with you.
Neither. No, that's the problem we have. So there are many things are getting modified, and it's not the best thing is interest for the bees or whatever.
Right. So how was your day today?
I did 85 round bales today, and we're done finally.
Round bales. And you're done now.
Done for now. We got everything cut down. We're supposed to maybe get a little bit of rain tomorrow evening, which I'm not sure. It's a little cloudy. Some clouds have popped up this afternoon. Some we do need to rain. We're dry. Hopefully that'll boost a little bit of a honey crop.
I got excited because I had gotten a text from the tracking text from the shipping company on the uncapper, and I didn't get any notification that it was out for delivery or anything like that. So I called them today. They said, "Oh yeah, that was turned over to another shipping company that does the home deliveries." And I said, "Okay, so when will I get my stuff?" Well, obviously we're not getting it today, right? And they probably don't ship on the weekends, so it'll be next week sometime before it shows up.
Usually Wednesday when you get your operation on your teeth.
Oh yeah, that's what's going to happen for sure. So now it's like, do I pull honey this weekend and just leave it unattended? I don't know.
I think you better wait and see how you feel after you get your teeth pulled, because I think you're going to be feeling pretty rough.
I'll probably be out there having to harvest honey in the heat, cheeks swollen up like a chipmunk. And there
goes Alvin.
Oh, Alvin and the chipmunks. But yeah,
I think it was supposed to get up to, I don't know, about 90 degrees or close to 90. It was 8. Well, right now it's 87. And it was our first day that actually got up pretty high. And then the rest of the week is supposed to go back down. That's what they were predicting.
What was that day? Tomorrow it's supposed to get up to 88.
No, it's supposed to be in the high 70s.
So we better get my flux capacitor ready if we're going to get the 88 tomorrow. Go back to the future.
Yeah, Steve there, he said he got 92 up there in New York. That's pretty hot for that area.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like the north is hotter than it is in the south this year, except for some places. I mean, I'm moderate. It's moderate. 88 degrees here is moderate right now, But a lot of those glossy privet are starting to bloom pretty good. So maybe the bees will get to work a little bit more.
And Alex said it was 90 degrees up there in Quebec. Steve said it's going to be down in 67 degrees tomorrow. What a swing. A 30 to 60, 78. Yeah, 30 degree swing.
Sounds like us here lately.
Ben Schmidt, 95 in Missouri.
There's gun line.
Hey, Tim, what's happening?
Let's see. When's your next bee meeting?
Mine?
Yeah.
It's the second Wednesday of the month.
So next Wednesday. My birthday.
No, the 14th.
Oh. Is that the second? No, that's not the second Wednesday. That's the third Wednesday. Yesterday was the first Wednesday. No,
No,
you're right.
yesterday was
You're right.
31st.
You're right, man. As usual. You're like James. Always right. Except for when you're wrong. No. Where's James? I saw him poke his head in there. He hadn't been on a stream. It's still early for them, though, so he's probably out working his bees.
Yeah.
He's out working his bees.
So what was the call that you went to the trailer park?
The the trailer park was a
James working on a special project. He's probably building his extraction line.
So let me see. I'll show you a picture. So the lady calls me. She says, I've got bees in our mobile home community. I said, is it a swarm? She says, yeah. Of course, they don't know what a swarm is, right? And
so is it yellow jackets?
I told her to send me a photo. Could you please send me a photo so I can know what size equipment I need to bring and all that, you know? And she sends me a photo. And this is the picture she sends me. I got a chuckle out of it. I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to be able to tell from this picture? This is the picture I got. It's just a little cluster of bees on a cable.
Oh, there it is.
The cable box, right?
You mean I think there might be a dozen bees there?
Yeah, so what it was is a swarm got there and moved inside of that thing.
Yeah.
They hadn't built any comb up, but I did a live video on me pulling that thing apart. And Charlie, are you in the show still?
Yep.
I don't see you. There you go.
There we go.
and you know, took a look at that. So it's I mean, there were some bees in there. It's a few frames of bees. I got them in the 5 frame, you know, in the Pro Nuke right now.
Right.
And it's not. I mean, it was a longer drive to go get them, and that's why I was hesitant to go get them to begin with, just because of the ride. And then I backed my damn truck as a, you know, the new part of the driveway that they just filled. I got off to the side because I got bushes that the tree comes on one side and a bush sticks out on the other side. And I got a little bit off center and hit my tailgate on the tree of my truck and ruined my tailgate. So now I got to get a new tailgate for the back of my truck. So
was that your truck or the work truck?
No, my truck. So it was, I looked online. You can get them for about $500, but they're primered. So you got to get them painted, and then you got to transfer all the emblems and all that crap over. So it might be worth it. By the time you get it painted, I might as well just call my insurance and make a claim on it. And
I don't know. I did that too, and they jacked my insurance up.
Really? Real high?
Yeah, really high.
So
I'm like, you know, I never claimed anything, and I don't know.
That's so they can make good money, man.
Yeah, it might be cheaper just to fix it yourself. So, Alex, you coming in? You gonna tell us about your? I was wondering, did he do his grafting, or is that tomorrow?
Tomorrow. No, I didn't get Bojangles today. I had for lunch I had a pork taco from QT Quick Trip.
He said tomorrow, but it's supposed to rain. That's what you said. So that's what's happening. I don't know. I got to check my grafting tomorrow and see how bad it is. I get a little something, that'll be great. I need the bees or queens. Put them in the incubator. All that.
Let's see. Yeah, I haven't done the last couple days. It's just been.
Hey, Box Plus. Good to see you.
Oh, you jumped on here. You're going to get a boost, Charlie. You get the good old boost.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
I don't know how he does the boost of like sub boost, the subscriber boost.
That's what I need. I need about 210 subs.
Let's see. Looking at promotional items.
What's that?
Items that are like got logos on it and stuff like that.
I got to check out Jeremy there. I don't think I've ever seen his.
I've seen a few of his things. I've seen a few of his videos.
I haven't seen it. Where is he at? I can't. There he is.
I need the watch hours. He's almost at 500 subs. Jeremy is. Yeah, I've got an unusual color to my truck. Even though it's black, Ford has two colors of black. One is just a black and one is called shadow black, and mine's shadow black. I gotta try to find one. But I've got some spots that need touched up, that it was messed up when I got it. So if I get it, I might just tell them to go ahead and paint, fix those spots too. Go ahead and spot paint like the door and the back on one of the parts of the bed. Not if, when I get it.
Yep. Well, anybody else here wants to jump on, give us a talk, see what's happening?
Bob's boring tonight. You need to hurry up.
Well, I try to get a good subject going here. I don't know.
Old Mr. Ed gave a shout out to my swarm lure again today. So, but it was an older video. It was filmed, at least part of it was filmed in March. So,
right.
At least part of it.
Yep.
Let's see here.
Phil said, "Did you watch Jeff's video?" And I said, "Yeah." No, like I say, I haven't been. I've been working too much to do anything in the hives except for grafting. Hopefully, I have something tomorrow. Check them out. Try to make them. Hey.
That's kind of neat.
Len wants to say, so what point do you declare the honey flow is over and start taking honey supers off?
I've been starting to rob them as they go. If I get one that's capped, or if it's mostly capped and it passes the shake test, it comes out. The only reason mine are still on there is because I want them to protect it, so I don't have to just set it in there and let it just sit,
Well, for us, usually it's around the 20th or the end of June. We're done for sure. but it seems like it's getting shorter. Depends on the season too. Hey, JD. Yeah, it's the same thing down there. There's Mr. Alex. There he is.
What's
There's
up?
Jack.
He had his camera still on from last night.
No, I had to go get it again because I pack it every time.
You pack it
Jeff.
every time?
I'm not sure.
Hey, Larry.
Oh my gosh.
Larry says there's nothing out there either.
Well, I put a quart jar on that swarm trooper with that swarm I caught yesterday off the fence, and they've taken down a pint of it already, half of it. So, and I was gonna wait till tomorrow to pop the tape on it, but I went ahead and popped it tonight because they would have been home. And man, the amount of stuff they cleaned off of that old comb, the debris and stuff when they came out was right by the door. So they started pushing that out right away. So hopefully they stay in there.
Yeah. So, Alex, you're going to go tomorrow and you're going to drop your graph in. So you're actually going to do some grafting, right?
Yeah, I'm going to do some grafting. I'm going to collect 10 larvae from each of my 3 strongest hive, including the very old queen, because she survived 3 winters here. That's the line I want to keep.
So why wouldn't you just graft all of them off of her?
Because I like the other 2 lines and I want to propagate them. They came out of winter really, really strong. So I want some genetic variety.
I got you.
So that's why I'm getting 10 of each, hopefully. And what I'm going to do is, since I don't have the boxes to, assuming I have a very high mating and survival rate, what I'm going to do is set up every extras I have as a resource hive. That way I don't have to waste the queens, and it will cover for the winter losses.
Then you can continue. You could also continue to graft off of them, right? If they stay alive.
Exactly.
So, to the moon. That means you're going to get a shot in the arm. I don't know how many. You got 198 watching right now, Charlie. You better get exciting and get things pumped up right now.
Yeah. Yeah, honeybee compound, the squirt bottle. Yeah, that's like a dribble method, but I've never seen it in inspections. They just use it during the fall, treatment thing.
I'm
199.
Speaking of treatments, I'm hopeful for the glycerin and OAV strips to be legalized soon in Canada.
215.
So kind of excited to try that treatment.
Yeah. Hope I've got some supers like that too.
Thanks, Fox Plus.
However, I'm just now starting to see some glossy privet starting to bloom. So I'm hopeful that will click in real soon. So it's all over the sides of the road here, and so I'm hoping that goes.
Yeah, it seems like everybody across the country is in the same boat as far as the flow goes.
I gotta find out that trick that you got there.
What's that?
How he can, like, Grammy got like a bunch of subs, and the other night I'm about 500 away from 3,000 subs.
Right.
Oh yeah. Hey, I need to share you out.
How did she pull that off? I I'd like a bunch of new subs.
Fox Plus was the man. Let me share it out on my channel there. I'll post that. So now we really got to start talking about some bees.
Oh, speaking of random bees, I saw a scout today in my.
How'd you know? Was he wearing a neckerchief?
No, a scout bee. I was installing the air conditioning unit, and she zipped into my house and like bouncing against the window. There's no bees allowed in my city, so there's somebody who has colonies close to us. So within I don't know, in kilometers, it's about 2.5 kilometers that a bee will fly out. So maybe a mile and a half. I don't know. I don't know the difference, the conversion, I should say. So there's either wild colony nearby, and they're smelling my bee equipment in the shed, or
you might have 5 colonies in your shed, and you don't even know it because you haven't.
I check the shed regularly, and all the boxes are capped. I took a bottom board when I saw that scout. I took a bunch of bottom boards and put it on top of all of the stacks. I don't want a feral, a feral swarm in there because they're not allowed in here in the city.
They're not allowed. You're not allowed to keep bees in the city, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a small city, about 50,000 inhabitants.
Yeah, but why wouldn't they let you? I mean, New York City allows you to keep them on tops of buildings.
Don't ask me why. Politics.
Just
it's a French thing, you know.
Well, but
no,
French
in
eat a lot of
Montreal,
honey.
they're allowed. You can have bees on the rooftops in Montreal, so it's not a French Canadian thing. And French is in Quebec, not the same thing. You like if you compare us to the French.
I'm just kidding.
Might insult a few people, so beware.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
He said beware. So speaking of bewares, no, I'm just kidding. Use it as a shameless plug.
But yeah, there's although Quebec, most of Quebec's people came from France, they're pretty distinct by like it's been like 4 or 5 centuries, and a lot of Quebecers would not take kindly to being compared to the French.
You guys saw I made the news last night, right?
No.
I was on the news channel. Well, see, you don't look at my page. No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, I don't use Facebook at all.
No, I'm talking about. I shared the link in the community. That little 2-minute thing on TV last night. I'm just the nearest apiary to all the studios, I think, in town. So when they Google beekeepers, I'm got a high Google rating, right? So I'm at the top. So I'm like the first one they click and call. Hey, can we come out? Yeah, sure, why not? And they come out for a few minutes and talk and then move on, you know.
Yeah, my bees are about 30 minutes away, so they're nowhere near close.
You should tell them, yeah, come on over. And then when they get there, then you say, okay, let's go. Where are we going? Oh, we got to go to the bees. They're not right here.
Yeah.
They're out in the country. Take them with you. And
I'm happy. My second apiary is going to be much closer. It's going to be about 15 minutes away.
So you know what to do. Your second apiary should now become your first apiary because it's the closest one for you to get to. And then
yeah, but I don't know. It probably doesn't have basswood.
Oh,
there's a lot of clover though because it's cattle fields, and they use clover to feed them. So there's probably I saw a few wild like crabapple trees and stuff like that. There's a lot of wildflowers. There is some produce farm, I think, so there might be some like the guy I met right now. That when it's not clover, it's squashes.
He'll show up on your stream on Friday night. On mine, he just watches in the chat, idly commenting. Hey, Todd.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
Doing great.
Going good. No, I don't have anything at the Chestnut Grove right now, Phil. After last year, I was kind of leery about taking stuff out there. I was 0 for 5 on nukes out there, so I don't want them to be killed by the strawberry farmers across the
Spraying
road.
and all.
Yeah, fungicides at night, and they're supposed to. It's funny because they say the state law is they can't spray that stuff during the day, so they have to spray it at night. But it's still there the next morning when the bees are out and coming over to check out the flowers.
Some insecticides become neutral, like they neutralize after a few hours, so they're safe for bees in the morning.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if they're using
all those
types of insecticides, but some of them are specifically made to last only a few hours.
Yeah, but I think it's more of a fungicide is what they're.
Yeah,
it's not an insecticide.
And last year, they were all brand new nukes, and then not strong ones. I mean, I made splits and new mated queens in them, and then they would start dwindling, and I would add brood. Right, I'd bring brood down and add brood, and add brood, and add brood, and they just die. They just never did anything. So, yeah, I decided not to go that route this year. Plus, it's just last year I wasn't working, so I could go any day, anytime I wanted to go down there to work them, I could go do it. This year working, I've got Saturday and Sunday, if it's not raining, for the most part, to work bees. And
same for me.
And then, so now I've got, 61 colonies after today. So takes a lot of time, when I actually do go through them. I've kind of spot checked them, but some of they're just not, the new wax supers, they're not going in. They're just not building them up. It's kind of like they're filling up what they've got, but they haven't started moving up. And
have you tried spraying some sugar water on the frames?
Yeah, I did that when I put them in originally. They may have just taken that off of there and brought it back down. I don't know, but
well, I think the biggest thing is if there's not a real major flow, they won't draw wax.
Well, one super I put on there, it was one of those 3-frame nucleus colonies, right? I put it immediately in a 10-frame when it came in, and let them build the 10-frame out deep. And then once they got strong enough in there, I put super on there, and actually 2 supers. So she came up in the super, they drew them out, and I'm like, perfect. They're going to start putting nectar in there. That little heifer laid 10 frames of medium brood. I was like, are you kidding me right now? And I go down into the brood box. There's no real stores down there, but the brood that's hatched out, right? So they're starting to polish those back up. So I imagine she's going to start laying that. So tomorrow I'm going to pick that medium up, and I'm going to slap a queen excluder in there again, and let those babies hatch out, and then maybe they'll start moving up, and maybe we still have a flow of some sort going when that happens.
If you can knock the queen down, it'll force the bees to go up because they have to take care of the brood.
Well, that's the thing. The queen was actually in the bottom box of that colony because she is solid. I'll try to show y'all that tomorrow. It's solid cap brood in the medium that's on top of the deep. The deep is hatched out, and they've started cleaning it up. And then the mediums that's on top, there's a few bees up there, but they're not really doing anything. They're just kind of walking around.
The eggs through the queen excluder?
Do what?
Did the workers bring eggs through the queen excluder?
No, so there was I didn't have a queen excluder on it to begin with.
Yeah, knock the queen down, put an excluder, let them
so what I was trying to do was, Lee does this too, let them start to draw comb up there so the bees have moved up, and then like you said, put them back down and put the excluder on. But there was bees in there and it looked good wax. I'm like, oh yeah, they're drawing that out nice. And then went in there yesterday and surprise, 10 frames of brood. And I'm like,
if you have drawn comb, you could put a frame of a box of drawn comb let them fill it up, then put the undrawn under
See,
super and undrawn.
you just said the magical statement. If you had drawn comb.
Well, do you have any?
No, not now. I don't have any more. That's been my thing because I went through so much expansion this year. All these supers that they're getting has new comb or re-waxed comb from last or foundation from last year. So it's all new, trying to get them to draw it out, And yeah, I've got 50 supers out there that I bought last year. Thinking it's every year I say the same thing. This is the year we're gonna have a great flow. My bees are gonna fill all these boxes up, and every year it's like, what in the hell is going on? So Lee had made a statement on one of our streams where he said, and this was based on a comment that Bob Binney had said on an interview we did with him, that he said that persistence, don't give up, just stay with it. You're going to have a couple bad years and then you're going to have a good year eventually. And I'm still waiting on that good year after 5 years, that good, just all my bees are pounding honey in the boxes and I'm, everything's on time. And it seems like every year it's different. Every year my colonies are doing crazy stuff. It's always something. So
the advantage of having such a short season is it's pretty much always a good season, and combined with basswood, I've so far I've always put empty undrawn comb, so I'm slowly accumulating drawn comb every year. I put empty, freshly waxed undrawn, and I'm building my reserves as I expand. So that way, once I have a decent amount of drawn comb, then the honey production is gonna go even higher.
Well, you have that beautiful benefit of being able to say your colonies can make 200 pounds a year. Down here, our average is 52 pounds. 52 pounds. So I have to have twice as many colonies as you do to just get the same amount of honey as you do. So it's and that's not just me. I don't know what Todd's average is, but it's probably 50 to 60.
There's got to be a silver lining to those horrible winters Canada gets.
Well, this year I'm kind of hoping I'm kind of going out on blind faith and saying that nature, the trees and stuff have to bloom and propagate, right? That's nature. They do it every year. Now, what time they do it, so I'm kind of banking that they just haven't done it yet and that it's going to happen. So, oh man, don't make us hang up on you, Brad.
Yeah, the only problem is I ain't getting them $90. What do you call those?
Wait till you get the super chats going.
Oh, hey, let me just tell you right now, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen on our streams that much.
See there, Bob?
They have to work twice as hard because they only have half as much season.
I brought this up before, I don't know, a month ago. Drawing comb for me, a light bulb went off. I did what Bob Binney suggested in one of his videos, feeding 1 to 3. 1 part sugar, 3 parts water. I did it in August, and they just took off with it. They built lots of comb.
In August, after the honey flow.
Correct. Yeah. So
but you use all deeps or you use deeps and mediums?
What's that?
Do you use all deep frames or deeps and mediums?
All deeps.
Yeah, see, if I have it, because I have mediums for honey supers, if I use that, then I'm having to extract out all the funny honey out of the comb.
You just leave it out to be robbed by the bees.
Well, I get to them usually before they start socking it away, and I give them a lot of stuff. I give them a lot of foundation to go after it. I don't feed them heavy where they would, put it away. I give it to them gradual, and they build it up. So,
I might
So
try
what
that.
type of feeders are you doing? A frame feeder or something?
bucket feeder. Yeah.
Bucket feeder?
But
1 or 3 gallon?
bucket and mason jar.
That's what I think I'm gonna do. I've got a few buckets. I mean, I got three buckets that I bought from Bob Benny at Hive Life because I only had 3. I bought 3 of his lids with the holes in it. And I was gonna try them, but I tried them early in the spring, and I've got the 2-gallon ones. So when it would get hot and cold, they would just drip constantly, and I was like, oh my gosh. So,
Yeah. I just do the gallon ones, but I have a problem with them leaking on some of the lids. When I was drilling it, I must have wobbled the bit somewhere or somehow, and the hole was, just a hair bigger. So what I did, if it ever happens to anyone, you just take Teflon tape. If you have those plugs like you could get for Greg Burns, those tint plugs, if you look at them from the side, there's up near the top of the cap, there's an indentation that's where the cap snaps into the lid. If you run some Teflon tape in that gap, it'll tighten up that
the fitting
seal right there.
Okay.
But I still haven't figured out the magic of bucket feeding yet. It's hard. Half the time I'll take the excuse me, I'll take the buckets off and I'll put mason jars on or cur jars, whatever, and I'll put the bucket over it just to keep the sun off the jar.
Right.
So
that's what I kind of was using the bucket, and then I started going to the jar because I felt like the glass wouldn't flex and leak as much. Like I was saying, I put a quart on that swarm that I picked up yesterday, and they drank a pint of it overnight. So,
well, I was listening to Michael Palmer here a while back. It was one of the older videos, and he was talking about like a top hive feeder when you want to build the hive up as far as stores. And let's say like a quart feeder, you're limiting the amount of sugar water that's going into the hive. It's just enough to feed the brood, just enough to feed the bees, but it's not enough for them to really store much of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that's where Todd's talking about where they can, they'll make wax. It'll make them have wax and everything.
So, and you're treating during that part too?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, I'm in between actually. So I have the strips. I'll be putting the strips in here in about 2 or 3 weeks. And then, what's that?
Mike wants to know how many holes you're putting in for drawing comb.
Oh, my lids, my plugs, I put 3 in, but I use the staple, the smallest staple I have. I think it's 18 gauge, and so I poked 3 holes in there. And my problem is the lid around the plug is leaking. I don't have a real problem with it leaking through the plug itself.
Yeah, he's talking about, for drawing wax and stuff. So
yeah. I don't know if the holes in the lids would matter. It's just how much you get to them or the rate you get it to them, meaning quantity wise.
Yeah, well, he was thinking maybe if you had 6 holes versus 2, you're regulating that sugar input, and that way they're not going to be able to store it, but they will utilize it.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway.
But yeah, I'm in between treatments when I do that because I wait till later in August when it kind of peaks, the weather peaks, and then I hit them with Apiguard.
I haven't tried the Apiguard yet.
I know you're hot out. What temperature is that? 90 degrees or so?
Yeah, it's going to be high 90s. So what I do is I do three 7 to 10 day treatments, 33 grams.
Okay.
And do it that way. They
So
still
let's
weird though. They come flying out of the box. You know, I'll have the whole front of the box just
so
full
if you had, let's say, 80-degree weather with low humidity, you're still going to do like a 33 or maybe a 25 for 4 weeks.
No, if I had that weather, if I did it then, I'd probably do 50. Just 2 treatments of 50 grams. Just I think that's what the label says. 2 treatments, 10 days apart, I think. So
Yeah, it's 2 weeks apart. I think it is.
2 weeks apart, yeah. But yeah, I have to be careful because they'll hit the trees. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, I'm going to use that for the first time this year. I bought a bucket of it this time last year. I just never got around to using it. I had Aprivar. I wanted to get rid of that, and I did Formic Pro, which I'm going to use that. I'm going to use Aprigard, and I'm going to use oxalic acid through the wintertime.
All at the same time. Just nuke
Triple whammy.
all. Put them
Well,
all.
I start treating in August and stop in February.
Hang your strips, and then put the Aprigard in the middle, and then shoot them with oxalic acid in the backside.
These are going to come out of the hive glowing.
But they won't have any mites. Not in the comb, not on their backs, not on their trachea. Nowhere. That'd be
Just add a bit of high explosive like Cayman and Reynolds did.
Yeah, a little bit of thermite.
Okay.
Lee said he's going to be in Dothan, Alabama next Saturday. How far is Dothan from me? Probably friggin' 6-8 hours.
Is that there bee club meeting? Or,
he's going down.
Conference.
I know he's going down to Ed to deliver that extractor he's giving him.
Yeah, he's coming at the bee conference in August.
Oh, yeah, the one in
I looked at the line up there. It was nothing for me to go to.
it's 6.5 hours to Dothan, 426 miles from me.
That's where Bruce's Bees is out of, I think.
Yeah, Ed, Bruce, and Grammy all live close together.
Oh, okay.
Pretty close together. That's a haul. That's south of Savannah. You have to go to Savannah. Cut all the way across the state.
I feel the same way, Bob.
I'm
tired. It's only 6 o'clock here.
Yeah, the closest YouTuber beekeeper I know is Mike Palmer. He's about 2.5 hours from me.
Michael Palmer is the yeah, I haven't noticed my treatments really slowing down my queens that much. They might. I mean, I don't know. But they don't slow them down as much as mites do.
Yeah, I think Bob Benning, that was one of the things that I listened to that one video. It was in the fall, and he said he was recommending these 2 ladies who were picking up stuff. He said, don't use that Aprigard. He said it slows that queen down for quite a while and all that. So that's why I figured I'm going to try to do Aprigard in August and then July or August, and then hit them with Formic Pro. It'd be a little cooler by that time.
How much time do you have in August before it starts getting cooler where she really ramps down?
It doesn't get cool here until October.
Yeah, it's October.
Middle of October when it starts getting cold here.
Yeah,
I need to be by the 15th of October. I should be done feeding. But she's ramping up. I'll have brood all the way through October with Apis Biologic in there.
No, he's actually closer. It's 2 hours, 1 hour and 58 minutes from me.
Who's that?
Michael Palmer. Then it's Ian, about 16 hours west.
That's a ways.
Yeah. But if I ever do like a road trip across Canada, I'll definitely stop by if he allows me to. I really want to go, like, spend an afternoon, help him work or whatever, or maybe just a few minutes to talk to him, depending on what he's willing to How much time he's willing to give me?
It is from me to Ian's town of Miami, Manitoba, Canada, is 25 hours, 1,677.2 miles.
That's nothing. You can make that, Bob.
I could do it. One shot straight through.
Nonstop.
And you're in Loma Vista, California, right?
I'm in Clovis, which is a suburb of Fresno. I'm like one street away.
Ziggy says, Alex, that Ottawa is closer. He's one of your Canadian buddies.
Biggie. Ooh.
I don't know.
I could be at your place, Todd, in 37 hours. 2,541 miles from me.
Just fly.
I'm going to type in Manitoba or Miami, see how far I am.
You're closer than I am.
Well, according to Google Maps, Ottawa is 3 hours and a half from the French Hill apiaries.
Let's see how far we are from.
He allows a certain amount of people come up there. You have to get, approved.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
I'm 34 hours away, 2,043 miles.
There was a guy in my bee club that actually went up there, but he said when it came to queens, he said you could look, but you couldn't touch.
It would take me 42 hours to get to James driving, 2,728 miles each way.
I calculated I'm about 16 hours from your place, Bob.
If I had the money in one of those like tour bus motor coaches, I would sure do it. I would jump in there and go on vacation and stop and see some things along the way. Well, I mean, at that distance, I could see everything along the way, and make it.
There's Mr. Mark.
Hey.
Hi, Charlie, Bob, Alex, Todd. How are y'all today?
Good.
Good.
We're making it.
So what's up? What's going on? You said you're in the bees there today. What are you doing? A lot of queen work?
I've been making a lot of splits, pulling queens, and it's been hot today. Really hot.
I'll be prepping my boxes on Wednesday.
Good deal. Well, they're in here in the oven right now.
You're cooking them?
I'm cooking them. Yeah,
I ordered 5 from Mark.
So what's you making anything? I see some. What's those over on the behind you there?
Those
looks like frames, I guess it is. The other way.
On the
you're sitting on a box of frames now. I just started them last night. I didn't get about 20 or 30 done. So
sorry.
Yeah.
All off.
I'm tired. The heat takes it out of you after a while.
There's Mikey.
Oh, Mike.
Mike.
Hey, Mike.
You're really quiet again.
Yeah. Oh, crap. Really?
For a while there, your mic was booming louder than everybody else's. Now it's quieter than everybody else's.
Damn Linux.
Linux.
Why do you have a Linux computer?
Why does anybody use Microsoft?
It's the industry standard.
Yeah. Well,
that's about the only reason.
Linux tends to be much safer.
I like Linux, but everything's Windows compatible, just about.
So Mark, did you get done with the hot dogs and hamburgers?
Yeah, I got full too. Did 2
Man,
Miller
it's like
Lights and 2 hamburgers and a hot dog.
Lee's queens that he got from you are back and mated, so that's good.
okay. Guys, how's my audio now?
Low.
Sound like you way back in the background, Mike.
Okay, thanks.
That's better.
Just hold the mic right up to your No, there.
Okay, I just thought
Turn on the closed caption icon and we can read what you say.
Okay, how's that?
Still low.
Okay.
Yeah, it's real low.
I can barely understand him. It's really, really low.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Oh, buddy, what's going on with me tonight? I'm just yawning and yawning and yawning.
Need a nap.
I didn't get my old man nap tonight. I laid down for a minute and I said, Google, set an alarm for 8 o'clock. And then, seemed like 10 minutes later.
Boom.
You mean wiretap set an alarm for?
Oh, I finally found it today. I hacked it. I figured it out. Where is it? I sent it to Brian at Flower Street. I found out where she lives.
Wow.
Siri Lane.
Siri Lane.
That thing creeps me out. Like having a
Siri.
machine constantly listening to no.
Yeah, they are.
Not happening.
It's listening all the time.
Serious?
Siri and Google Home, they're listening. All Alexa, all of them listening all the time. Especially the one by Google, I think.
Yeah, I do know that Lexus, they actually used that in a court case where the guy said, he threatened his wife or something like that. And they got him on that just by using that.
Well, think about it. Like you've got OnStar. A lot of cars have OnStar in it, and Ford has a version of it too, right? So you look at that, and they know where you're at all the time, how fast you're driving, where your car is located. Even if you don't have the service, they can say, "Oh, you're late on your payment. Oh, OnStar, where's that car at? Yep, let's go get it." You can't do like you did back in the day and hide it at your buddy's house and get your payments caught up and then go get your car back. You can't do that anymore because they'll come get it from your buddy's house.
You'll be on your way to work, your car shut down.
Yeah, shut down. Someone.
That's like Easy Pass is the same thing.
I think Tim was telling me that they got this thing now that I think he said by 2028 that the cars will be able to monitor your heart rate and your alcohol content while you're breathing in the car and everything. So it'll shut down if you're driving and you're over the limit. Be my luck, I'd be right in the middle of traffic when it shut down. And then the cop would stop and say, "Sir, why are you stopped in the middle of the interstate? The car just shut off. Step out of your car, please." I responsibly drink at home. I don't drink out usually. And only occasionally.
Yeah. See, what was it? I do know, like, if you have an accident, there is something in there they can read off the computer where, like, your time you push the brake and all that kind of stuff and impact and all that.
You guys doing anything interesting new with your bees, or are you just waiting out the honey?
I done wrote the honey off.
You wrote it off?
Yeah, it ain't much honey coming in. I ain't even gonna worry about it.
I got some out there right now that I was hoping that my uncapper would come so I could use it, and I was gonna pull the honey tomorrow, and then I was talking at the beginning. I was like, well, maybe I wait another week, but if we don't get it, they're gonna start eating it. So, it's like, what do we do?
I have 5-gallon buckets of honey sitting in the garage waiting for my bottles.
How many? 5 of them?
5. Yeah, I got more than I thought I'd get. The way the oranges looked.
I checked 2 hives yesterday with the news crew, and the one that I did check has a full deep super capped. They just haven't moved up past that to the mediums that I put on. Yeah. So I was thinking about taking that deep off, extracting it all out, putting the mediums right down on top of them, and kind of forcing them having to come back up in there. Or they'll form, one of the two things, right? Either they'll find a tree or they'll move up.
Bob, I remember you saying you've got the little specks of wax that are in your honey,
Mm-hmm.
the filter. Have you ever tried to let it sit for a week and then skim it off the top with like a sheet of plastic wrap?
I haven't. I'm very impatient when it comes to honey. When I
That's
start
what mine's
pulling
doing right now.
when I start pulling it and spinning it, and then I strain it, and as soon as I'm done straining it, it goes in my bottler, and then into bottles mostly. But I mean, this one, it's not terrible, but you can well, you guys won't be able to see it, but there's definitely little minute specks in there, and that's running through every kind of filter that I have, 400 microns, everything, and there's still little tiny bits. It bothers me so much. I spent $4,000 on a new uncapper. So
you could always tell everybody that that's proof that it's real raw honey.
That's pollen. That's how you know there's pollen in there.
Yeah.
We can't hear you, Mike.
Did you get that Chinese uncapper that you're
No,
looking at that time?
I bought the Polish one. I bought the license.
Okay.
But not the full blown automatic one. So the blades are automatic, but the mechanism that brings the frames in is the hand cranked one.
Okay.
Just
Well,
stick a
you could
drill on it.
motorize that pretty easy, couldn't you?
Yeah, use a drill.
Yeah, I could probably take the handle off and put a drill on it and try it that way. But the I don't know. It'd be my luck. I'd rip the whole thing apart and I'd be out $4,000.
Does it have the steam knives on it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. The knives are motorized. They move back and forth, cutting both sides at the same time. But I don't know. I'm just when it comes to honeybee, Bob. What am I gonna miss? Somebody's got a echo going.
What's that?
Is Alex? No. Can you not hear me? Echoing?
It's an echo.
Yeah, I hear
I
it.
can hear you. I'm echoing too.
Yep.
I am muted.
Charlie, move you one at a time. See who it is.
All right.
Is it?
Not me.
I'll go.
Go ahead. Say Bob.
I hear it echo. You're talking.
It's Mike.
Damn lip.
Try that.
Does it work now? Yeah, there's no echo now.
Yeah, it's Mike. We can't hear him, but
Yeah.
I didn't find the queen today. I didn't see her.
Yeah, it's Mike.
Yeah.
There was a lot of bees in that little post. I was surprised. They just hadn't started drawing any comb yet. They must have just moved in there in that post.
Well, I'm looking forward to Mark's delivery. That should be nice.
I can't buy any queens. I don't have any more boxes to put any more hives in at this point.
So have you got plenty of frames?
I got frames.
It's in reverse this time.
Yeah, well, I've got some boxes, but the boxes that I have empty, I could go out there right now and take wooden nukes that are 5x5 and move them to a 10 frame, which would free up my nukes that I need to put my swarms in that I just have in pro nukes right now. So it's just constant shuffle.
I've got boxes on back order.
Who'd you order boxes from?
Man Lake.
Did they have a good deal on it?
No.
No, I just bought them. I have reason. Well, I mean, how many boxes did you get from him, if you don't mind me asking?
10. I ordered 10 and 100 frames. I got my frames, but I didn't get my boxes.
I hope they're in better shape than the woodenware I got from them this year. 2 of those migratory covers I got were broke, and I never did call them to say, "Hey, send me 2 more." Those were broken, but
I just make my own migratory covers. That way, I'm sure they're good enough.
The last covers I got were in good shape. And I ordered some medium boxes not long ago, and they were in good shape. I have ordered deep boxes, commercial grade, that wouldn't fit together. They were pitiful. Oh, we'll see.
Well, the boxes that it's funny because when I talked to my local bee company that I'm not going to name their name, they told me when I first started there, all we get is the select grade. We don't get any of the other stuff.
That's what I used to do all the time. I would just get select grade, but right now I just want some boxes. I don't care for select, budget, or what.
Well, Better Bee has them on sale, but you got to pay shipping.
Yeah.
And I think they're only a good price if you're buying a pallet worth. But then by the time you add and that new place, what was the Golden Bee? They've got boxes. They're in Missouri. They've got boxes at a reasonable rate. But by the time you tack the shipping on it, you're probably looking,
Well, I go to Sedalia every Thursday, but I figure they're probably closed by the time I get there because it's 5 o'clock when I get there.
But I bet if you called them and said, "Hey, I'm bringing a big rig through and I need to pick up 100 boxes," I bet they would stay a few minutes late for you to get there.
Yeah, if they're in Sedalia, if they're close, where I can not have to go out of route and they're not in the country,
Golden Bee is located in Hughesville.
Hughesville.
So that's not
Missouri.
That's not Sedalia. That's outside of Sedalia.
Is that north of Sedalia or is that west of Sedalia?
I really don't know. I would think it would be east.
It's north a little. If you take 65 north, it's just to the west of there. So it's just north.
65 is on the western side of the state, I think.
Well, they're showing Sedalia, and then showing 65 coming through Sedalia. And
I run 65 straight up, all the way to 36.
So it's literally just off of. Let me see. It's showing Clara's North 65 Cafe. It doesn't show exits, unfortunately, on Google Maps, but it doesn't look that far north of Sedalia. It's north of 50 on 65. Probably 2-3 miles off of 65.
You run way over there, Mark?
Yes, sir. I run mostly Missouri and Arkansas.
Oh, okay. Have you ever been through Billings?
Oh, yeah.
Down on 60? Yeah, I lived there for about 5 years.
Yeah.
It's a nice little town.
Been through Billings, Montana, too.
That's where everybody thought I moved. When they mail it, they go, "Oh, I thought you lived in Montana." No, I live in Missouri.
Yeah. I went across Lolo Pass one time in a big rig. It's pretty up through there.
Yeah.
They got unassembled 10 frames for $17.50 deep, and they got assembled deep bodies for $18.
That is expensive.
And they're dovetailed.
That'd be worth a stop.
They've got wooden frame with heavy wax foundation for $2.95.
Wow. Okay.
I got a deal on
frames are $4 here. And waxed deep bodies are 40.
Those frames are cheaper. Their wooden medium frames are cheaper than what I was getting plastic acorn frames for.
Yeah.
So do you have any idea what those frames are made out of?
Wood. Yeah.
I'm sorry. The foundation. The foundation. I'm sorry, gentlemen.
Let me see. Let me see. It might say when you click on it. Let me see.
That's like I get asked, where do you get all your trees from? I says, out of the woods.
Out of the ground. They come out of the ground. That's where we get them from. No, it doesn't say. Someone told me that the foundation they use though is not Acorn, but Premier Foundation. But I don't know where they're getting the wooden frames.
So I bought some foundation from Lappy Bee Supply 3 years ago, and it was listed as their Premier Foundation. Well, it was their Premier. It wasn't Premier Foundation. So
really?
Man, you really have to watch that.
Your mic's perfect now, Mike.
Yeah.
Good. I apologize, guys. And there was an echo control here, and I hit that and messing around.
Yeah, but the volume is perfect.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much, Charlie. Appreciate the feedback.
Charlie's almost at 300 viewers right now.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
folks that are watching, if you're enjoying this, hit sting the like button there, because we like Charlie.
Or better yet, go subscribe at my channel.
That
There
too.
you go.
That too.
See,
good going there, Charlie. Hey,
see,
Todd, I want to back you up a little bit. What are you using for feeder plugs in your bucket?
I get those tint plugs. I ordered a bunch
that.
from Greg Burns. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a secret there. I don't know where he gets them, and I don't mind buying from him.
No, we bought them in bulk from I forget what the name of the plastic company is, but buy them in a batch of 1,000.
Apox Plus.
I think you're right.
What is it called?
Can you type that down, Charlie? Nothing.
What's the name of it?
I like buying stuff from Greg sometimes because he's got a family business and it's here in the United States. So why not, right?
Absolutely.
Speaking of buying stuff from people, someone's been saying they're buying pins and stuff for over a month. And
yeah, I know.
I swear, I might have just missed the order. I don't think I did, but
yeah, I forgot to hit send every single time. I swear to you,
you're the 10 visitors that's been there. You got your phone. Let me go ahead and order that. Oh, hold on, get busy. Then your iPad, and then your computer. That's funny.
Yeah, I promise though, Bob. I'll send it your way here. Gosh, I'll do it tonight. Actually,
I'm just picking.
I'll do it right now. Well, I'll wait till I get done with this, and then I'll do it.
Then you'll forget, and then
no, I'll remember.
That's the. He said you still need 100 more, Charlie. 100 more subs, or?
Oh, I need 210 more subs. I'll check.
I only need about 1,000 more, I think.
Yeah, I got 792 subs.
Oh yeah.
Lisa's 94 away from monetization. So you're 94 subs away from heartbreak and discontent with YouTube. That's the I tell you what, if it wasn't for the people that subscribe to my channel and the people that donate super chats and some like that sometimes, it'd probably be every 6 months you get a payment. It's like almost not worth doing. If it wasn't for just hanging out with you guys.
I've given it hope, honestly. I just do videos because I feel like it, not because I want to get money out of YouTube. It's probably never going to happen.
Y'all missed it last night in the VIP room after the chat. We were talking. Spanky came on, and maybe Spanky will join in. He was talking about coming on if he had time. And Charlie and I were talking, and all of a sudden, Dirt Rooster called in. I was like, so we were on speaker. We were having a 4-way speakerphone chat through StreamYard with the Dirt Rooster. It was pretty funny.
So are any of you guys running acrylic towels? Okay.
Drips.
Russell, I'm ordering those things tonight here, but I went to look up Swedish towels on Amazon. It comes back with Swedish dish towels, and they look pretty much similar. And I was just wondering if anybody else knew.
I used those last year, Mike, and to be honest, they disintegrate pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And so I switched gears to pig. It's pig something. Blue pig, I think. And they're the big water absorbent mats. And they're perforated in the middle. You could take a T-square and draw 4 lines on the mat. They're about 3.5 inches wide, and cut them. Then the perforation is in the middle. They're right behind me right now.
Do they work any better than like Apigard or Apivar?
No, it's more of a maintenance treatment, Bob. It's not a kill all the mites treatment.
I leave mine on for 2 months, and last year I left them on for 2 months, and so you have that exposure to them, and the bees, spread it around when they walk on it. So it keeps them down.
I posted in the chat. It's New Pig.
New Pig, yeah, that's it.
You have the address, Charlie, in the.
You get them off Amazon.
The only reason I ask is I'm all for like new ways of doing things, right, and figuring that out. But I'm also kind of wanting to do it as quick and easy as possible as well. So,
you leave them in
the
for 2
oxalic
months.
acid stuff.
Yeah, that's what Harris. I forgot his.
Yeah, up in Oregon.
Joubert. It's a French name, strange enough. I don't know how he pronounces it, but yes.
Oh, DC's always talking about that guy.
Anything is, it's not a legal thing. It's just like they tried to make the sponge thing, and then they smashed that here about a month ago. Texas was asking about Spanky. He's doing fine. He did catch a couple swarms.
Yeah.
And he's working, and he was fixing his mother's bathroom, putting a new floor in it.
Yeah, he said he started pulling off, like he had a rotten spot in the floor, so he pulled off the subflooring, and there was another subfloor. So he pulled that off, and there was another subfloor. So he had to go down 3 levels. Then he had to build it back up 3 levels to make it even with the rest of the flooring in the house. So
it's subfloors all the way down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hell, he probably has 1.5 inch thick floor now. You wouldn't think it would rot out that quick, but.
And then his mom's doing pretty good, I think. When didn't he say, health wise? So I don't know. He's sort of a busy kind of guy. He's still doing his
3D printing,
3D printing a little bit, and that kind of stuff. So like you say, we haven't seen him for several months, and I'm just glad that everything was fine. So
I have a question for the group. I'm looking for stainless steel. I guess it's we could call just a filter. It's like a sheet, but it's got the little circles cut out. I have no idea where I can order something like that, or even what it's called.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? I might have something for you.
It's a stainless steel
mesh, basically
mesh, but instead of square holes, they're round. It almost looks like a honeycomb, and they're small. They're maybe probably an eighth of an inch.
That sounds like a restaurant steamer tray.
Correct. Yeah, it's a restaurant, but I just like to get one sheet of it.
Honeybee Live says McMaster car for the mesh.
Master car. Okay.
Yeah, that's a parts catalog.
Okay.
Oh, neat. So
I would like to have some of those big, the big strainer that I saw in. What's Cayman's friend's name with the glasses that was at Hive Life at the door, helping him out? You know what I'm talking about? I always forget his name for some reason.
Helping Cayman out?
Yeah, he's got red hair and
I
beard.
got glasses, but no hair.
Oh,
Sorry.
Gus.
Gus Mitchell. Gus Mitchell. So I was looking at his thing, and he's got like the strainer, but he's got these big giant ones that sit on top of his bottling tanks, his 100-gallon bottling tanks. That would be useful if they had one that fit mine.
I think Dadant made them things.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or maybe it might have been Maxant. Not sure.
Let's see. All right. Well, he's got a Maxant tank, so maybe it's a Maxant.
Pretty sure it's Maxant.
In Devons, Massachusetts.
Well, I do know the Maxant has that piece that does put on top, and it does have strainer holes, but the holes are pretty good size. That's where you would put a paint strainer bag in there.
Yeah, I'm looking at those right now. Are they kidding me?
Oh, they're expensive.
$140 for a strainer with that you put them. Well, they give you the filter bag. That costs them $1.
Yeah, anybody needs them, I got a bunch of them.
I got 50 of them. Yeah,
you can buy them off of Amazon.
They do have food grease, food grade grease, 4-ounce tube for $10.
Well, everybody has that. Max or Man Lake's got that.
Immersion heater, uncapping, trays and clarifiers. Maybe that's where it's at. Nope. Gravity clarifier. Just take my money. That's what they want to do.
So, guys, I'm taking a look at that new pig Tallow thing, and they have universal mats and then oil only mats, and then hazardous chemical mats, all for absorbing.
Let me look and see what I ordered, Mike. I'll tell you.
Oh, that'd be wonderful, Todd. Thank you.
I think it's the water ones that Harris uses.
I'm pretty sure it is, but I'll make sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. The universal mats, they're called the universals. Okay, I got that. Thank you very, very much.
Quadruple. They got this thing that's a box that's got 4 chambers in it with baffles like a strainer. $1,400.
Ouch.
That's baffling.
It makes me want to take up welding is what it makes me want to do.
Well, I asked, my neighbor knows a welder. That's how I got my wax dipping tank.
Because I'm sure I could go to a machine shop and say, cut these to these dimensions and give them back to me.
Okay, Mike. It is water absorbent mat, and it says reusable. It's a 50 pack, 15 by 19 inch pads. Yeah, new pig.
Yeah, yep, I got them.
Yeah.
And you just slice them up into like 1 inch thick ribbons.
No, it's about 3.5. Well, let me go get it. Hang on, I'll be right back.
But wide.
Let me
Well,
get.
at least that's what Harris does with it when he wants.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
He just slices them up and dips them in the OAV and oxalic acid glycerin mix. But it depends if your state allows it. I know it should be legal in Canada by fall, but I don't know about your region of the U.S.
Well, luckily, I'm in the state of independence in my own brain. Let's see. Got that. Any suggestions on the type of glycerin that you're using there?
Just vegetable glycerin, food grade.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if there was some type of variation of it.
You're muted, Todd.
So this is the pad. It's roughly 3.5 inches wide, and then in the middle, it's already pre-perforated for you. So
I like that.
You could get. I went to Walmart. I bought one of those fake Pyrex glass dishes, and what what I did was I folded them in half, and I did about 9 or 10 of these, and I had already poured the solution in that food dish, and I let them soak for a minute on one side. Then I turned them all over at in a bunch to the other, and they suck it right up. So
Yeah, and make sure you make your mix.
The blue goes up. The white goes up. The blue goes down on the frame, on top of the frame.
When you make your mix, make sure you make a 50-50 blend by mass, not volume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did 1 pound of glycerin to 1 pound of oxalic acid.
And how many strips can you make with that?
It'll come out to about 18 or 20 individual strips, and so I believe I'll have to look at it again, but I believe it's 2 strips per box, per brood box.
So for 1 pound of each, you made enough to do 9 colonies.
Yeah, roughly 9 or 10. It depends on how much you could get in that dish. I think it's 9.
So I would have to get about 8 pounds of glycerin and 8 pounds of oxalic acid to do the strip treatment.
Yeah, and Russell talked about getting the glycerin Amazon.
Yeah, a 10-pound bag of Florida Lab.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now, Russell, from the Florida Lab and the 1 gallon of glycerin. I've never looked into this. How do you mix that? Do you bring it up to a certain temperature and then just stir it, or
you have to bring the glycerin to 160. So for me in the microwave, and I use one of those big Pyrex mixing bowl, glass bowl with the handle.
Yeah.
So I'll pour my one pound of glycerin in there, and I'll put it in the microwave for 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay.
And just you could temp it real quick to see where it's at, and then you pour it in the dish, and then make up your oxalic acid in pre-measured baggies. So 1 pound, you put a pound in a baggie, and then you dump it out in that dish, and you have to keep stirring it to get it going. But the big thing is you need a heating source underneath. And so I had an old pancake griddle, and so
there you go.
That glass dish fit perfectly on it, and I dialed it up to about 175, and you just kind of have to constantly stir, and then it'll eventually go into solution, and it'll clear up, and then you put the pads in on their sides, not on their ends. So you put the pads in on their sides, and then it'll
wick up,
be like that, and then it'll soak up, and then you turn it over, and then it'll soak up again. But not all of the pads will soak up evenly. So when you put them on the hive, the oxalic acid, when the hive heats up the pads, it'll start moving, and it'll cover the whole pad.
It'll go through it. Yeah. So last year when we put those on, we did. I think we left them on for 7 weeks, 7 weeks, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And but we're using the Swedish towels, and Todd, you're absolutely right. I mean, those things, fall apart.
You try to scrape them up with the hive tool, and they break apart.
It got really, really messy. It was kind of.
I know what that is.
Hey, Mark, when we're doing caving, we actually carried those in our kit in case we had giant gashes, and that did happen. So a friend of mine got a big first aid kit from his sister, and went to open it up, and here was full of nothing but maxi pads and like athletic tape. Nobody else got it, but I'll tell you what, you end up with a big gash. That's a damn good idea.
Yeah.
So
it's simple. You can go to Walmart and get them and do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I just don't know if they'd stay in there for 2 months, though. That's the thing.
Well, the other part of it is if you're going to go to maxi pads, I'd be concerned about any other chemicals that they might put in there for odor reduction or something like that. So Just my thought on it.
Just get organic ones.
Yeah, get the scent-free ones.
You get
So it's Michael Buck was asking here, do they propolis them to the frames? Depends upon the bee.
The towels they
Some
do.
hives will, some hives will just propolis the hell out, and otherwise just completely ignore them.
Yeah.
You know, so there's no set rule of that. And I know I've said this on the chats before, but I had a friend of mine that went to make a big batch of that, and unfortunately, he decided to make it in a stainless steel pan, and the thing just foamed all to hell. So you've got to do it in glass, or something. So,
or a plastic. You get one of those big commercial black bags, trash bags, and do it like what this guy did in the video. He put it in a box, and then you could just start stacking them in the box inside the bag.
So what I have here, and I encourage all the other beekeepers, if you're trying to do something on a budget, if you want to wax your frames, stop in a Goodwill, some Salvation Army store or whatever, and look for these big, crock pots, whatever size you want. And those some of them do have the removable glass liners in them. They're ceramic, so you can use those for, melting wax, or in this case, we're going to dial it in there, Todd, for the temperature for making those, the solution. So, but yeah, I guess that foaming thing got, just a tad messy. But that was the way that went out there. So, Charlie, I saw you got up to about 91 there today.
That's what they said. I don't think it got that high. I think maybe 87 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I was in the cab tractor with the air on, and
yeah.
And
listening to bluegrass.
No, listen to a round baler.
Yours doesn't have a radio in it.
Oh, it does, but when you're running this round baler, it has a net wrap system on it, and I have this, for lack of better words, a computer module there, and it tells me, do I go to the left, or do I have to weave in order to make the bale perfectly square? It'll say, your left, go beep, beep, beep. Your left side is getting low. You need to, bring your tractor and fill it on that side and stuff. And then it keeps you going. Then it tells me getting ready to tie within 3 or 4 inches. And then it goes off and says, okay, you need to stop. You got 15 seconds before the net wrap things kicks in and wraps it up. Then it tells me with another beep that it's done. And now I can open the gate up and drop it out on the ground. So it's high tech.
Yeah.
And all.
I am going to be buying my grandpa's original 1939 Farmall bee. We did find the doggone thing. So no frickin' computers in that thing.
Well, how did you know it's his? Because of the serial number or something?
Well, yes and no, because at the farm auction, it was sold there, and it was sold to one of our distant cousins, Johnny Solom, down in Elk Mound, Wisconsin. And I ran into my cousin on Sunday, and he says, Johnny still has that thing, and he wants to sell it. Like, okay, yeah, I'll be all over that. Now, mind you, this is the tractor that was the very first one he had. He actually traded in 2 of his giant plow horses for it. So it won't do what you want, what you're doing there, Charlie, for mass or whatever.
No, a B is what, 20 horsepower, maybe?
Is that a gas burner?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it is. Yeah. I mean, they didn't do diesel until later on, but it's probably.
There were a couple made in Minnesota.
We had a Super C, so a B was smaller than that. So it's probably about 18 horsepower.
I think you're right in the ballpark. I really do.
But you know what always amazes me? Here I got a tractor. It's relatively brand new. It's about 5 or 8 years old. Cab and everything. It's 115 horsepower. The first thing you do is you lose 25 horsepower because of the automatic transmission and all the hydraulic things.
Oh, yeah.
And that's incorporated in that. Everything's fly by wire, on this thing, and you go up the road and you'll be doing, let's say, 24 miles an hour, and you hit a hill that because of the EPA, it has no grunt power at all. It'll just keep, you got to keep downshifting and downshifting in order to get up the hill. Whereas I got a 1980 tractor, Alice Chalmers. It's a 6-cylinder. It's got, I think it's rated at 75 horsepower. It's got more grunt and it'll blow smoke and it'll get up the road and go compared to that new one.
Welcome to my world, Charlie.
Huh?
Oh,
Welcome
Mark,
to my world.
I am so sorry, Mark.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, you
drive
probably
a
got
truck. These new trucks ain't got no power.
Yeah.
It's
They're
the old stuff was just geared right, like that
well,
one
the
he's
thing of it
talking about.
is the EPA's got in there and computerly controlling the motor now to where you don't have any torque. I mean, I'm talking about real torque, where you're blowing coal. They don't want you to blow coal out the stack. They want, that's not allowed anymore. So,
Yeah,
and then you got that there go-go juice you got to put in there.
Fluid.
Yeah, but these is from the same people that want to literally put methane collection bags up cows' assholes.
That's all bullshit.
That's just, you got to be out of your freaking mind.
That urea they say ain't nothing but cow pee.
What?
Yeah,
but you gotta have it or it will not run.
Yeah, I think I know of a couple people that they, you couldn't get the blue stuff. It's made in what, two companies or something. It was something insane like that, and they just got so frustrated that they just filled up those things with diesel, and so instead of the blue, they just had diesel fuel in there, and it worked. But on a funny note, Mark, I was actually filling up our Detroit diesel generator today, and I actually dumped a half-gallon of diesel on myself from shoulder to toe. I smelled good for a while, but something, the mosquitoes left me alone.
Yeah,
That's
Michael
that
Buck
good
likes.
cologne, Mike.
Yeah. Michael Buck likes the 7.3 International Motors, what it was, and that was the best diesel they had out there, but they didn't have all the bull crap on it. Now everybody talks about getting the diesel pickup truck. I says, for what? It's worthless. It doesn't get any more fuel mileage than a gas truck does.
No,
and you got more, and you got to pay more for fuel. What gives it? You have less processing to make diesel fuel over gas, but yet diesel's more than gas. That's bull,
Yeah.
Used to be gas was $1 and diesel was 50 cents.
Yeah, I remember diesel being 18, and then gas on the top end was 35 cents.
A YouTuber I watch who has a homestead in England, what he does with his diesel, he just puts veggie oil. It's a 50-50 blend of veg oil and diesel. Saves a lot of money.
Yeah. I've run into that, Alex, and I can't remember where, but I've also seen guys making generators that have the electrolysis machine on them, so they basically run on water. You do have to inject some gas in there to lube the cylinders, but it's just infinitesimal, and those things are hilarious.
But running on water, you need to constantly recharge the battery to do the electrolysis. It's I don't know how efficient it is.
Well, this is, Alex, this is being hooked up to a generator, so there's plenty of power.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the way that goes.
You're using a gas generator to run a motor on water.
Yeah.
Okay, so why?
Yeah. You just what they typically do is they've got two of these whole house water filters, and they've got electrodes in them, and they pump DC through there, and then one side will spit out hydrogen, the other side spits out oxygen, and then that gets ported right into the carburetor.
The YouTuber I was talking about is called Chris Harbor Natural something.
Oh,
He's a British YouTuber. He has like a small homestead. He's right now. He's in the process of building a barn. He mills his own wood. Like he once repaired the transmission of his car. He built his house. He built his workshop. Um, he makes his like he builds micro hydro plants, windmills. The guy is amazing to watch.
yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, back in the 70s, right here where I live, there was 4 scientists that worked for the Aberdeen Proving Ground, which is military proving, artillery and whatever. And they still do stuff down there. And anyway, this is 1970, remember? They had a car, a Cadillac.
No, I don't.
Station.
I was born in 1970, but go ahead. I'm listening.
They had a Cadillac car that ran on water. They had a boat that ran on water, engine wise. And all of a sudden, here comes the FBI in. They seize everything. One of them actually got on 60 Minutes. He said, "I can't tell you anything because they said they would lock us up." And they
didn't one of them disappear?
None of them disappeared. They're all passed away now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But they didn't disappear. But then there was another guy I seen on the internet where he had, the same situation where he was showing the dune buggy guy, and he kind of died right quick.
Yeah, he went to, I watched that. There's a special on it, and the guy went to breakfast with his brother, and he stood up, and they did a toast at breakfast, and he had an orange juice, and he did a toast, and he drank his orange juice, and as soon as he drank his orange juice, he all of a sudden started feeling sick and went outside, and he said, "They're trying to kill me," and then he died. So
I remember that actually.
Yeah. I heard a similar story, but for bees. Apparently, somebody in his apiary, one of his hive had a random mutation that made the bees immune to Roundup, and his bees got all of his hives got confiscated.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So on a sideways funny note, Michael Buck just put something up, kind of like a guy running a truck on firewood. So Vince that owns the wood mill over here, you guys know all about these. They started in the 70s. Cross country races. They're not races, but they were mileage challenges. And who can use the least amount of gas? So what Vince and his friend did was they got a pickup truck and they put a burner in the back of the thing, like a boiler. And whenever they, out in the country, whatever, they just started throwing brush and wood in there and whatnot. And that smoke ran through, I think it was a catalytic converter, and that's what powered that truck. It was wood smoke. And they won that year. For the very first time, though, that year, somebody put an electric car in there, which was, cheating, and they actually won. But I asked Vince, I said, "Wait a minute, what do you mean you're running an engine on smoke?" And he looked at me, this 80-year-old giant, and he said, "Well, what do you think the German farmers were using in World War II?" And I'd never heard that. But this guy knows this kind of crazy stuff. But to bring it back to the bees, yeah. So if people are telling me that I can't put oxalic strips in my beehives, screw you.
So how did the smoke? How did they use smoke to make the engine run?
They ran it in through the carburetor. It went through a catalytic converter, and I also think it went through a water bath to filter out the particulates. But when you burn wood, Charlie, you know this, that you still have a bunch of residue gases out, and that's what actually would power the carburetor. So yeah, when he told me that, Charlie, I did the same thing. I'm like, what? How the heck is this possible?
I thought it'd be more like a Stanley steamer.
Yeah, no, that would kind of make sense too, but no.
Yeah,
wait a second.
A gasifier, yeah.
Yeah, wait a second though. They did have to start the truck on gasoline just to get it started. So that's the way that worked out. But hey, another oxalic acid question here. Who all's gotten the Provap? Not the Provap.
Instavap.
Instavap. Thank you, folks. Appreciate that.
I got mine. I'll probably try it tomorrow when just before I graft. I'll just give them all a pup because I'm due to remove the apivar strips, and I want to immediately follow by a OAV treatment. So I get to try it for the first time tomorrow.
So this brought up an interesting question because I wrote to Bob Binney about this. I said, what type of treatments will not work or, can create offset chemicals like apivar and oxalic? And he said he was going to give a talk on that in Hive Life, and he never did. So Alex, have you looked into the possible lethality about combining those two?
I'm not using them at the same time, but I've been doing that for years now with very good results.
I used them both at the same time last year.
No, not at the same time. As I remove one, I start the other because I don't think it's allowed. I don't know for sure, but I don't think you can do two at the same time. So
it can be done. Trust me.
Yeah, you can do it. I'm talking about the legal consequences of the
Well, I don't have bee police, so I can do whatever.
I just don't take any chance. I don't want to get bothered. So as soon as I remove the strips, I do the oxalic treatment, and I average 0 to 2 mites per hive doing that.
That many? What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I mean, that many is good enough for me.
I'm sorry, Alex. It was worth it to see the expression on your face. What the hell is he talking about?
Yeah, was there an error in translations for a second?
I'm sorry. I don't speak French. No, 0 to 2 mites. Come on, that's wonderful.
Yeah, hey, it could be like my nuke that I put the outlaw treatment in, and 24 hours later, I had 25 mites stuck to the stick. That was fun.
Yeah. Wow. No, actually, my concern was that before I put the, I'm going to run Apigard this year. As soon as I pull the honey supers off, and I like to, hit the hives like once a week with oxalic. Just do like 2 grams a box. That's it. And I was like, okay, so the residual oxalic that's in the hive, could that possibly be a problem with the thymol or whatever? So that's where that's coming
about interaction with other chemicals, but I think oxalic acid degrades pretty quick.
Well, that's what what's his name was talking about out in California there, Todd.
Randy Oliver.
Thank you. Yeah, he went through the degradation breakdown as a time passed. So that's
someone has a slide out on this. I don't know if it's Ian that showed it or if it was actually Bob, but someone has a slide on the interactions between what you put in the hive. I can't remember.
Really?
I've seen the video, but I can't remember who did it.
When you get a chance, if you could find it again and let us all know, that would be just grand.
Yeah. I could have sworn when you said that Bob didn't speak of this at Hive Life, I could have sworn he did. And I could have sworn that had the slide.
Russell, if you bought the videos and whatnot, I wasn't able to go there. I'm sure it's up on the videos there, and I'm probably wrong then, Todd.
Well, I don't know if it's on the Hive Life video, and I'm not saying you're wrong, Mike. I'm just saying I just recall seeing a slide like that somewhere, but I can't remember where.
No, that's absolutely grand.
But I think the biggest interactions were like with Kumafos and all the older stuff that really
dear Lord,
soaked into the wax. So every time that you put something else in there, you get a different reaction with if it's Kumafos in the wax versus together with whatever you're using, because the residual of those are a long time. I think years and years and years.
Philip just put something up here about a gas vap from Bridge Cottage Bees.
Yeah, he got one of those little ones that work on the little propane torch.
Oh, cool.
I still have my Johnny O. It's working like a champ, but I don't use it until maybe in December. January.
I've still got the ProVap 110.
But I do need to go on to Larabi's and order the blue caps. Hopefully he has the same size.
They're the same as the other guy that used to do it.
You mean Johnny O?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I got the early Johnny O's where I got the red caps, and I think he came out with the blue ones later, but supposedly they hold 5 grams.
Okay.
So
that's and for what it's worth about Larabi, Russell and I were talking about this. We both had like a bowl heater failure, and you know, it always happens right when you are supposed to be treating, you know, you're on your schedule. And I got a hold of Rob, and he got me the whole replacement kit free of charge. It was within 1 year. He got it to me within like the next day or so. And Russell had the same thing. His customer service is phenomenal. So
it's key.
Yeah, absolutely. So just a grand thing. But anyways,
And that reminds me, Mark, I got to mail off your stuff. I'll do it either tomorrow or Monday, but it'll be out.
Where's your thing at, Bob?
Oh, I took it down. Now you waited too long. You lose.
Everybody else was talking.
No, I just saw this. Here, I'll put it back up. I didn't. Last time I tried to share something, you said you couldn't see it. So
I seen it. I was just waiting for everybody to quit talking.
So this is free. It's a looks like an old restaurant fridge. That'd be a good honey warming cabinet, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
And not only that, but they've got free shelving.
That's nice. That's real nice.
Whoa.
Is this in California, Bob?
No.
Can you ship it to California for him, please?
So I don't know. I might give them a call tomorrow.
I'd go get it.
Just don't even call. Just show up wherever it's at and load it up. It said free.
Free's a good price.
So
$500 worth of stainless steel there.
Yeah.
Hey, worst case scenario, I could always cut the top of it and make a real deep wax melting tank out of it.
Yeah.
A real deep, dipping tank for boxes or something.
Like you have out of it.
Your initial wax fill is going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Yeah. Well, who was it? Somebody was telling me, I think it was Matt, said that he had a tank to use for dipping. He said, but when he got a quote on how much the wax was to fill it up, he decided to wait another year because it was like $1,200 for the wax to fill it up.
Yeah. That was the guy. There was a guy close to me that had a wax melting tank, but he said he didn't use it because it cost quite, like you say, $1,200 just for the stuff.
Yeah, my wax tank is pretty small. It fits one super, and it's it's a bit larger than a deep, and it cost me almost $500 of wax to fill. Now, granted, it takes very little to keep it topped.
Yeah.
But the initial investment is pretty high. It pays for itself though, eventually.
So I've asked questions about this before, and so if you wax dip a box, can you paint it? I heard from somebody, yes, you can.
Yes, you can. As soon as you get it out of the wax.
Thank you, Alex. Okay, yeah, because I'm using that Thermacell paint, insulating paint, and by the way, for those of you who haven't heard this thing, I think that folks down south, it would be better for them, reflecting heat on the outside. But I don't really give a crap right now because it leaves a slight sandy finish. And I'll tell you what, when you're trying to lift supers up, it gives that just more grip to it. It's just fantastic. Your hands aren't slipping. You grab that, when you go to grab the corner to do one thing or another, and it doesn't care if it's wet or not. You have quite a bit of grip on there. So.
I use a small cart to move my supers, like a kid's cart with 4 inflatable wheels. It's about like 3 feet long by 2 feet wide. I just pick up the super and dump into the box, take it away, then use the an air blower to remove the bees. Oh, and before all of that, I use like something to chase, like a chemical, like a fume board, to drive the bees down. Then an air blower to remove the remaining bees.
I love those things. I really do. Troy gave me some of the stuff that smells like almonds.
Yeah, that's what I use.
Yeah, and it's you got to have the right heat for it or whatever. But I love that stuff and do the same thing. Thanks for bringing it up, Alex, because I
made wooden shims. I tacked on some felt around, then used like sheet metal painted black. I used wood stove paint.
Okay, interesting.
It's highly heat resistant.
Yeah,
and it absorbs a lot of heat when it's sunny outside. It goes pretty hot.
Okay, so what is it? Yeah, Clueless just put in there that is the Honey Bandit. Okay, I can never remember what the hell
you can get Honey Wrangler.
You could get some of that Honey Wrangler. I heard that works.
Yeah, there's a guy. What's his
There's
name?
a guy
Bob.
that you all may know
Bob
that has a
Walker
product.
Bees or something.
Yeah.
You know that guy that has the channel that goes live all the time.
And you get double your money's worth.
This crazy stuff. So Spanky, what's going on with you?
Not too much.
You want
Spanky's outspoken.
Elaborate.
You want to expand on that? Yeah, elaborate.
I've just been busy repairing floor and trying to keep everything mowed down and having to get parts to work on the lawnmower.
You got 2 swarms, right, Spank?
Yeah.
Have you got into them yet as far as looking at them or working them
I
anything?
got into them the other day. The nuke box looks really nice. I need to put another box on them. And then the tin frame had a hornet's nest in there. But they must have drove out the hornets. I took that out.
Now, did you use Honey Robber to get the hornet? I wonder if that would work with hornets. I'm just joking, but
Honey Wrangler.
Thank
Honey
you.
Rustler, you're all wrong.
Honey Rustler. I haven't ordered it yet, so I can't remember the name.
Yeah, I seem to remember you haven't ordered anything yet. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, man, that's great.
The joke that keeps on giving.
So I've got another question here for everybody, audience, all that kind of good stuff. Have you guys ever seen honeybees go to windshield washing fluid?
To do what?
Okay.
For water or what?
Anything, just gather around washer fluid.
Well, the last
Now
one,
I had one lady, she was saying that the bees got in her, she had planted some milkweed or some kind of plant.
Yeah.
And of course she had watered the ground or the potting soil, and the bees were in there, sucking the water out, and they were digging down to get down deeper, and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, down there I have the sawdust pile area. There's like a little ditch where the rainwater will kind of stay there, and then it'll soak down into the sawdust. And the bee, once it gets where it's not really standing water, the bees will get in there, and there'll be big patches of bees, like carpet bees, and they're all sitting there sucking the water and the minerals up out of that sawdust, because there's a lot of mineral type stuff in there.
I wonder if that's anything like the honeybees going after what is it, brandywine mushrooms that expose the mycelium and start feeding off the mycelium, the roots of the mushroom.
I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I mean, the bees like if you had a bird bath where it's full of leaves, and it'll turn that water brown.
Yeah.
They like that. They'll like that water over clear water.
You know, have you found that varies from the season? Because I have 4 fountains in the back here, and one I always put a little bit of chlorine in, and the one that's underneath the shade, I don't put anything in. There's algae on there, and towards the end of the year in the fall, they are all over that algae.
Oh yeah,
it's really
they
interesting.
can stand on it and they don't drown. And
Well, actually, it almost looks like they're feeding on it. Is what I was getting at.
well, DC says it's more minerals in it.
Okay. Yeah. So that's making sense.
Actually, the algae cleans the water.
Well, this is on the edge, Mark. It's not in the water. It's on the edge of the fountain. I should have said that. So you get little patches of algae right at the water line. And
I know a lot of these people are putting these new salt pools in instead of using chlorine.
Yeah.
Man, they don't find out later, but there's a ton of bees that love that.
Bee magnet.
Oh yeah. And even regular swimming pools, they love chlorinated swimming pool water. Oh dear Lord! But I hadn't heard about the salt pools. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Bees working in mud. Why not?
Yeah. I guess they're mud bees.
What algae would use the mineral in the water? Oh, Russell, I never thought about that. Wow.
Well, I know I pour salt water out there for the hive beetles. The deer dug holes all over where I poured the salt out, and then the holes fill up with water, and then you go out there and the bees are all around it.
Really?
Yeah. So
Wow.
I guess it's the salt in the ground.
I was wondering if you put a watering system out there, with where they can land. If you sprinkle a little bit of salt in there, I wonder if that would. Well, it has to be a type of salt, a certain type of salt, like other than table salt.
Salt is salt.
Well, okay.
Yes, no. Salt that you put on French fries is a different salt than you put on something else because it sticks on there for some. I forget how they do it differently.
Yeah,
the Himalayan salt.
What's that?
The Himalayan salt.
I was just thinking of that.
They would probably go to that. That's the most unpure salt. So it's got all the different minerals and stuff in it. It's not just salt.
Yeah. So Fred Dunn did a test where he had like 5 or 6 water feeders out. One had chlorine and one had salt. One was plain water. One was purified water. And I forget which ones did which, but I'll go back to I think it really depends upon what time of year it is and what the bees actually need. I don't think there's one over another, but when you're talking about them tunneling out, trying to get the salt or going into the wood chips or feeding on the algae, I don't think there's like a sweeping generalization there, but it's kind of one of those crazy things. But
I found both of it, Mike, because I've got a pond that's got algae all over the top of it, and the bees love it.
Do they?
One little old corner there, they'll get on top of that algae and get their water.
So they're using it as a float.
Yep.
Well, some algae actually have quite a bit of protein in them too, which is.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I know it's shaded right there. They don't have to worry about the frogs getting them.
Oh yeah, I like that. That's I have some ground salt for my popcorn. I love it. So you guys got any beekeeping plans for the weekend here?
Grafting. Starting to build my second bee yard. So,
Nice.
I'm making splits.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Yeah, splits for me is next week.
I'm gonna see how bad I did on my grafting. Other than that,
Oh, well, if you get 50% take, hey, that's still bees, right?
well, I did 15 grafts. And There might be 5 of them. It might have took, but it was a sort of a. It was like on a whim, last minute thought, and I threw some bees in a box and did a little bit of grafting, and the grafting material wasn't all that great, and just it's. I'm still building up the hives from back where I sold them and stuff.
Ah,
Well, I think I'm gonna go to sleep. I am tired.
Well, I was just thinking here. It's about 10:30, and my back's aching and everything, and maybe we'll just call it quits for the night.
I wish you all a good night.
All right,
Yeah,
Alex. Good to see you.
You too. That's it's wonderful.
See you all.
Take care. I'm gonna take off here too, and and all that kind of good stuff. I see Russell has his 3rd flea market honey sale or whatever going on for the week. So
thank you, Ed.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. God bless. Have a good weekend, and bee honey. I don't know. There's something in there.
Well, hopefully the flow will come back.
Yeah. Okay. Well, take care, guys.
All right. We'll see you.
I think I just got a little sick when I looked at tires for my truck.
They done went up, hadn't they?
They're $200 plus, ain't they?
Oh, it's the big one, Elizabeth. BF Goodrich, $431.99 a piece.
Jesus.
For what? A semi truck?
What is it? It's a 285 55 20. Everybody's complaining how loud my tires are. At $400 a tire, y'all gonna have to deal with that. That's what I'm saying. Lord.
I'd wear them out till the wire's sticking out.
I'm trying to see. Let's see if they got any. What's the cheapest one they've got is a Toyo, $309.
You say they were 15, 16?
What ply are they?
20 inch.
20 inch.
What load range? What load range E or something else?
There's a load range E. That $431 tire was a load range D.
Let's see. D is just regular tire. E is like what I use on my pickup. That's heavy sidewalls.
Yeah, that's $435.
Yeah.
By Toyo. Open country ATs. And that's a 50,000 mile tire.
And it's made what, Japan?
Toyo, I think so. They gotta have cheaper ones than that. I'll have to go get a credit account to buy tires from a truck. Firestone.
I just contributed to that account.
What's that?
I said I just.
Did you just order? Peer pressure them into doing it.
Peer pressure. No, because you know what? I would forget. And then it'd be next Friday, and I'd say, "Oh crap!"
I put a set of Master Crafts on mine. Check the price on them.
This particular store doesn't carry that brand. They got Kumos. That's a Korean brand, and they're over $300 a piece.
Lloyd says if you get 40,000, you'll be lucky.
Yeah.
And that's if you rotate them regularly and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I bet you Walmart tires are just as high. Let's see what Firestone's got going on. They sometimes got a brand. Yeah, that tires. When I bought the tires, they were $250 a piece. I don't want to get tires by my vehicle because my vehicle doesn't have the right size. That's what I got on it. 55, 20. Get tire pricing.
Hey, I hit that overnight shipping for free box. Is that true?
Hell no. I don't know where that came. You was on the wrong site.
Dang it.
Bridgestone Duelers. It's a special offer. Only $408 a piece. You can get a set of them for $1,635. Yeah. Nope. Not going to do that. Problem is, I didn't get, when I got the leveling kit and all put on the truck, I didn't get an alignment. And I should have. Because now it's going to bite me.
Yeah.
Hey, Charlie, you been doing those exercises?
Yeah, I've been doing the stretches and stuff. I'm going to say it has reduced the leg. Last week I was at the end of the day in a tractor or whatever. I could hardly walk.
Yeah.
And now today, I still have leg pain, but it's reduced. I'll say 50%.
Yeah.
And then I went and got a gym membership at whatever it's called, $10 a month, and I'm going to do some abduction exercise machines. And really, because I watched the videos and I said, well, those are what he's doing and on the floor or whatever is what these machines also will do too. So, so, well, guys, it's 10:30, a little after. I think we're gonna go ahead and shut it down. And everybody's tired. At least I am. So
Walmart's got the cheapest tires.
how much is that?
$250 to $286, depending on what brand you get.
Yeah.
Of course, they're not Bridgestones or something like that. So they're
Couriers.
Some name you never heard of.
Yeah. Radar Renegades. Sure Track Wide Climber.
All right. Well, I'm going to shut things down.
All right, Charlie.
All right.